Hey everyone, hope you're all well today. Thank you for joining me and welcome back to True Crime Overtime with me, Rosie. So, I'm going to be covering the Sandra Birchmore case. And there's a lot to this case, there's a lot to catch up on, which is why I decided to post a press conference audio yesterday as a starting point. And that's audio from 2022 when the Stoughton Police Department had a press conference about the findings of one of their internal investigations. Now, that investigation was not about the passing of Sandra Birchmore, but it's extremely important about the events that led up to it. And I think that even though a lot has changed since that press conference in terms of what we now know, I still feel that it's a very good starting point. So if you didn't see that video, that's okay. I'm going to be going through some of the key points now. And if you do want to hear just the audio from that press conference, I'll attach the link to this video. But what I got from the press conference, which I think was most important, was the police chief kind of detailed a little bit about the three police officers in question when it came to their internal investigation of 2022. So, firstly, I want to tell you about Robert Devine. Now, he was the former Stoughton Police Department deputy chief at some point, but he was demoted for abuse of power. Now, we'll be getting into that. Don't worry. I have information on that whole thing, and I have news articles on that, and we're going to look at it. And I do also have a couple of questions about what constituted that abuse of power and how is it that he was just demoted. We'll we'll get into it. Um, the investigation also showed that Robert Devine was implicated in another case, another accusation at a middle school program, and there were claims that he abused another young female in that program while he was in charge of school children, basically unsupervised. And that middle school program is not the same program that we're going to be talking quite a lot about, which is the Stoughton Police Department's Youth Explorer program. Now, that's a program that Robert Devine took over heading about 20 years ago, as per the time of the press conference. So, not the same middle school program. Remember, Stoughton Police Department Youth Explorer program. It's going to be very important for this entire case. It's going to be central. And what's important to note is that there were two youth participants in this program underneath the leadership of Robert Devine when he was in charge. And those were the Farwell twins, Matthew Farwell and William Farwell. Now, some years later, by at least 2010, I think, both of those twins were instructors in that same Youth Explorer program. So, by the time they were adults, they stayed with the program and they became instructors. So they were kind of had these leadership roles for the youth. Now, it's the same program, again, Stoughton Police Department's Youth Explorer program, that Sandra Birchmore joined in. Now, I'm getting conflicting reports, but according to the press conference, she joined at age 10 in 2010. Okay? Some people are saying 2013 at age 13, but what's important is that Sandra Birchmore, at a very young age, joined the Stoughton Police Department's Youth Explorer program. It's in this program that she met Matthew Farwell, one of those twins who was also a police officer and a leadership role player in this program. Now, by the time Sandra Birchmore was 15 years old, Matthew Farwell had already begun an inappropriate physical relationship with her. And he was 27 when she was 15. Okay? So the internal investigation that the Stoughton Police Department did uncovered like a year's worth of explicit digital communication to support this, right? And this is also the case of his twin. It's not just him. His twin, William Farwell, was also found to have had explicit communication with Sandra Birchmore while on duty, actually. So he was, exchanging this communication with her while he was working as a police officer. And there's also evidence to suggest, as per this internal investigation, that William Farwell did try and introduce Sandra Birchmore to other men. And I think we do kind of know what that means, but we'll look into it a little further. So the internal investigation concluded that all three police officers that I've already told you about had an inappropriate relationship with Sandra Birchmore, as well as another law enforcement official whose name they didn't give, but he seems to be from another precinct. So we know of four. Now, in terms of the timing of all of this, it's really important to note that Sandra Birchmore was, at the time of her death, 23 years old and pregnant, allegedly by Matthew Farwell. Okay, so he's said to be the father of her unborn child. I think she was about 3 months pregnant. So, Matthew Farwell went to Sandra Birchmore's apartment on the 1st of February 2021 at about 9 p.m. as per the timestamp on the surveillance footage. And we're going to look at the surveillance footage closely, definitely. He said that he ended the relationship with her and that there was an argument at this point. But the thing is that makes him the last person to see her alive because she was found deceased during a requested welfare check on the 4th of February 2021. She was found deceased in her apartment, and this, until like really recently, was accepted to be self-inflicted. Okay, and we'll be covering all of the reports on that. I have the reports from the original welfare check, and then we're going to look at some of the new stuff. There's a new forensic report suggesting that this was not self-inflicted. And I think that is the most important thing about where this case is going. So that's something that we're going to get to, but obviously what we need to start doing is looking at the background. So I hope that, that was a good introductory video, just really quickly, to get you sort of more or less up to speed on this case and just to get you ready for our coverage starting way back at the beginning with the Stoughton Police Department's Youth Explorer program. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to covering this case with you guys and getting some more awareness for the late Sandra Birchmore. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day further. Bye.